Welcome to my show. It's a guest here. His name is Pet Bombaci. Mr. Pet, how are you doing, sir?
I am wonderful. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Mr. Pet. Firstly, you are the founder of Gen Well. Can you please, Mr. Pet, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, sir?
Yeah, I founded Gen Well back in 2016. We're a human connection movement, and we're working to educate, empower, and catalyze the world about the importance of face-to-face social connection as a proactive step that we can all take for our health, our happiness, our longevity, and for the betterment of society.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pet. And I would also like to, I know, have you written any book regarding to, this social one-on-one connection, or are you planning to write one in the coming future, Mr. Pet?
Interesting question. Yes, it's been suggested to me that I should write a book about, not about social health as much as about the journey that I've been on for 9 years to develop a movement around human connection. There's more and more books coming out about the importance of social connection and social health, community, relationships, friendships, all those things. I think for me, the more important thing is to actually get people to do it. And that's really the focus of GenWell is to really help people, give them practical tools that they can hear on a podcast like this, that they can go out and start building better social connections and social health starting today.
Completely agree. Thank you so much, Mr. Pace. I would like to go to that social connection, which is the face-to-face interaction. We're in a world whereby technology has taken over a lot of things. We do have a lot of social connection through the social media. We have a lot of social media where we could just connect to anybody around the world. So I would like to ask again, why do you feel or why do you think face-to-face interaction it's why do you feel like it is still important, so crucial for mental and our physical health today, Mr. Pett?
Well, there was one study that came out at the end of the global pandemic from Montreal that said that digital connection, what we're doing right now, has less brain activity. Face to face connection has 9 times the brain activity of a digital connection. So, and we know that 80 to 90% of communication is nonverbal. And so when you and I are connecting through this two-dimensional screen, I don't get to see, you know, how tall you are. Are you leaning into the conversation? I don't get to see so many of the aspects that build communication. And so I think digital technology is a wonderful supplement to the connections that we have, but it can't replace human interaction face to face. That's what we need to survive. That's how we need to work together to overcome challenges and problems that we might be facing so that we actually build a network and a community of people that can help us through the ups and downs that we all face in life.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pett. And I would just like to dive to the point of impress like self-esteem and confidence. There are many ways, probably practice, one can use to build confidence and self-esteem. But people too would like to know if social, like one-on-one connection, if someone is having this daily social face-to-face interaction with people, at least confidence will build if someone have such interaction in a daily basis. How do you think socializing in person can build one's self-esteem and confidence today, Mr. Pets?
Yeah, and I think it's a really big conversation, especially after the global pandemic. Uh,
Mm.
for so long that we were not allowed to talk to other people, or we were supposed to talk, but we misunderstood social. What did we say? It was uh, what was the phrase in the pandemic? It wasn't
Like
physical isolation. It was, I think they said social isolation.
this
And the point was we
disconnection.
had to stay physically separated from each other, not socially separated from each other. So many of us lost the skill or reduced our level of capability in regards to social connection. So I believe that many people are still working at becoming more confident in their social connections, because when we don't go to the gym for 2 years and we have to exercise again, that can be a challenge, and social connection is no different. And so I think, for me, one of the starting points, and there's a study by Gillian Sandstrom out of the UK about those who talk to strangers. And if they try it for a week, that they will begin to become more confident in talking to strangers and that they are likely to continue to do it. And so I think anything that we can do in order to practice connecting with other people over time can build that confidence that will help us start to make it a part of our everyday, whether that's talking to a neighbor, talking to a stranger, having conversations with our own friend, so that we can build better social connections and social health, which now the research suggests is as important, if not more important, than exercise, eating well, sleep, water, and all the things that we've been educating people on for several decades.
That's a very, very important point, Mr. Bates. One have to, build those in person to build that confidence they really, really need and deserve. So it definitely help. And there's a phrase, Mr. Pet, you will definitely know this. They will say there are some people that are extroverts, they are more of outsider. There are some people that are introverts, they are more of lonely, like have this character of being more lonely in life. So how do you think introverts or people that are socially anxious, some people are just socially, they find it difficult to, interact with people one on one. How do you think they can build strong connection without feeling like they are feeling overwhelmed or they are feeling this type of pressure on them, Mr. Pet?
I think the important thing is to understand, first off, that introverts need social connection as much as extroverts do. It's not that introverts don't need human interaction, it's just that they have some criteria around how they prefer to get connected. So, an introvert may want to do one on one conversations versus being part of a big group. That one I think I've heard before and we're comfortable with. The other one might be that they want to do it in a place where they feel comfortable. They might want to do it in a place where they say, look, I will go to the coffee shop and I will meet you there, or you come to my house so that I feel comfortable in the space where we're going to connect. So I think that's another point that we can help people. And introverts may not need it as often. Loneliness is a subjective measure. So some people need connection 5 times a day, but an introvert might need only to get connected once a week and they feel totally fine. And I think we also need to understand solitude. And solitude is a beautiful thing when we choose it, but if we don't choose it and it's something that we wish we could overcome by building connections, then that's when solitude can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, other health issues. Because what we want to do is recognize when we feel that sense of social isolation, disconnection, or loneliness, and do something about it before it becomes chronic or persistent, because that's when it becomes a bigger challenge.
Completely agree. So introverts also need more of this connection. It's not that because you are introvert, you should now. No, that does not mean. So I think thank you for that insight, Mr. Pate. And I would also like to dive to the point of social like I would like to, add the two questions together. Because personally, Mr. Pate, this also happened to me, probably when I was still schooling. There is a situation whereby someone can feel like connecting with other people physically, but they are worried about the type of people that are in the surrounding. For instance, one person, you're doing something more genuine, and people that are around that person could not be people that really, really, in the world that we are today, there are people that are doing great things. There are people that are, but the people that are around that person makes it difficult for that person to, connect or have this physical connection with them. So that person decides to just be alone, to just be the loner and have this connection socially. I would like to know the solution about that because is the person believe that it's better that person have this connection to probably online and stuff like that than having it with people that could even influence him or her in a terrible way, probably to do something terrible or stuff like that. A lot of things are happening today, Mr. Pet. So how do you think a person can work on that when it comes to physical connect? Do you feel like that person could go elsewhere or live a life of vacation or stuff like that? What do you think that person can do? And what do you think are the best strategy if someone have maintained a bond? How can you think someone can maintain that bond as they grow older and older and older and older till probably anything come in the coming future? Like I would like to join that to question, Mr. Pet.
Wow, that's a really, really big question. So I think it's really important for people to recognize that yes, toxic relationships and toxic might be because of conflict, and toxic relationships might be because the people around you influence you to not live your best life, who may take you to do things that may not be adding value to your life and may actually harm you in some way, shape, or form. So, I just wrote down a few things here. Number one, I'm a big believer that volunteering is a great way for us to connect with other people who believe in a better world. And those opportunities to give back and to meet other empathetic and compassionate people may be the start of connecting with a new community that, excuse me, that adds value to your life versus takes value away. I think of finding a mentor. And so, whether it's somebody who is in emergency services, a police officer, maybe somebody from a community center, maybe a teacher, maybe somebody could be a fireman, could be an ambulance, somebody of of somebody who could be a
Experience.
mentor, who could guide us in better directions. So ask for help. I think today more than ever, people want to help. We need to help. It's a part of having purpose in our lives. So I think it's really in the case of, whether the individual asks for help or maybe somebody else sees that somebody is struggling and that we can offer our time to connect with somebody and say, can I spend my time to give you better guidance or help you along your journey? And then obviously, if we have supportive family or friends, who add value to our life, maybe, excuse me, we need to make better choices as to who we spend more time with. I think there's a research out there that says we at times can cycle through our relationships every 7 years. And so understanding that we will have some lifelong friendships, but we will also have an opportunity to meet new people as we go through life, and really understanding who is adding value to our life and who may not be adding value.
I think that really answered the whole question. Thank you so much, Mr. Pet, for that insight. I think the
No
people will
problem, my
now
friend.
understand more. And, if they're having such situation, they know how they could also, scale up themselves to see how they could add impact to other people voluntarily and a mentor and stuff like that. Thank you so much, sir. And I would
Yeah,
like to
cheers, my
go
friend.
dive to the point to the of the younger generations today, Mr. Pate. We are majority of the younger generation. I'm also one of them. We are probably also the future of tomorrow. We have to see how things are evolving. We have to learn from people like you as we are doing today. So how do you think we can also continue to encourage younger generation to prioritize real world social interaction? We have a lot of things now that are causing a lot of distraction when it comes to social face to face interaction, which really helps a lot. So how do you think younger generation can, prioritize real world interaction over screen time? A lot of screen time today, Mr. Pitt.
Yeah, well, I think what we need to recognize is that the solution isn't just telling young people that they need to put the phone down and connect, because we've been trying that for 20 years and it hasn't worked. And we need to recognize that we are up against teams of behavioral scientists at all these platforms whose sole purpose is to distract us from living a more connected life in which makes us happier and healthier. So, our belief at Gen Well is that the solution is not about individual empowerment. It's not about telling people to put the phone down and that they should get more connected, because, frankly, they're the ones that are probably struggling to do it and they want to be connected, but they find it very difficult to put the phone down because these things were built to actually distract us. So I think our approach is very much a community approach. And it's why we have 7 campaigns that we run throughout the course of the year that are intended to encourage people
Mm,
to make social connection a priority in their life. Because the problem right now is that because everybody is so busy and so distracted, if we don't find a common time where we all focus our attention on getting connected, then you may want to get connected. But if everybody else is busy or distracted on their phone, then we can't solve the problem.
mm,
And so we need to educate people, but then we also need to catalyze them to take action simultaneously, because that's actually how we help a young person who wants to connect but they find it really difficult to put this down, is that we actually take them by the hand and we say, come, we're going to get the community together. We're going to play basketball. We're going to play soccer. We're going to play a game. We're going to play cards, a board, whatever it is. We're going to get people together and go for a hike. We need to do this together because only by doing it together will we make it easier for everybody to participate.
yes, it's not all about talking, it's about putting those things into action. Thank you
Action.
so much, Mr. Pet, for that insight. And a lot of things are also happening today, but we also, I used to say something, Mr. Pet. Do you personally believe, like, in the last, I'll still be young then, like 20, 25 years, do you probably believe that there will be something that will really cause a lot of this connection in our time today? Like, do you actually believe something like that will happen?
Do I think that how disconnected we are? Did I
Yes.
think 25 years ago that that would happen?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. And I think the interesting thing is when I first got my phone, it was just a phone. What it is today is a lot different than what it was 25 years ago. So, and I think the smart thing for the phone and the app makers is that it was death by 1,000 cuts, or it was, the frog in a pot of boiling water, or, whatever analogy you want to use, is that it was originally a phone and then it was one app and then 2 apps, and then 5 apps, and then 10 apps,
Just continue.
and then social media, and then grocery shopping, and then Peloton. And now you don't need to go to the gym. And now you've got Netflix and you've got all these different apps. Now you never need to leave your home ever again. And that sounds wonderful until you understand how much we need each other, and then you recognize how devastating that will be to each of us if we don't find a way to get connected more often.
Completely agree. We just hope that this physical connection really comes back. Even because I personally, I used to just feel sometimes I just feel like I have this physical connection, but many people are just really disconnected. They just prefer that this phone stuff and lifestyle like that. So we hope it comes back. Honestly speaking, it will
Yes.
really heal the world in a very better, it will make the world a really better place, honestly speaking. And Mr. Pete, there's a question I normally ask during the end of the show, Mr. Pete. From our forefathers, there are a lot of things that do exist during our forefathers' time, beautiful things that do exist. Many of it are missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Mr. Pete, what do you think that thing would be, Mr. Pete?
That's so it's such an interesting question. I think it's a really great lens to put on this, which is, what did my father do, or what did your father do, or what did somebody you know's father do, or mother? What were the cultural occasions that brought people together in your world? Because if we all look back and we all saw the different things that our parents used to do in order to help us build and maintain connections, maybe that is the starting point for us to start those habits again, those rituals of bringing our family together, of bringing our community together, of bringing our friends together. Because I don't think what we do at Gen Well and what we're the message that we're trying to share is not new. We are a social species. We've needed each other, for thousands of years. This is not a new idea. It's just that we went through a period of time when we thought that we didn't need each other. And now I think, and you said it at the start of the show, with what's going on in the world today, from inflation to housing crisis to war to threats from countries, we need to recognize that whether it's because we need to cope today or whether it's because we're trying to find solutions to create a better world tomorrow, we need each other more than ever before. And so our belief is every one of us is responsible to build a more connected world. So, how are you going to build more connection? How am I going to build connection? How is everybody going to build more connection? Because each of us doing a little bit will make a big difference.
That means every single person has a role to play when it comes to face
Absolutely.
interaction. If I do mine, if you, Mr. Pet, do yours, then there will be more development when it comes to interaction, because we really, really need this interaction. One-on-one interaction is natural, it's pure, it's
Absolutely.
energetic. Honestly speaking, it's better than this internet, and one would just go out. It's energetic to the world that we find ourselves today. That's why sometimes I just feel like, during that time could be more of fun and stuff, but connection of internet has really, really taken a lot. We hope it comes back in the coming future, because I also want to enjoy it before I pass on, honestly speaking. And I also want
You and
to
me both, my friend.
exactly. I also want to thank you for the time and the opportunity, Mr. Pate. It was a long journey, and I'm so happy. So happy. It was a very, very great conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Pate.
Thank you, my friend. Have a beautiful day and don't forget to stay connected.
Exactly. And you too. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.